Hello friends, my name is Samuel Chinedu Iwuchukwu. I serve on staff with the Redeemer Church of Dubai, and today I would be encouraging us as we consider the topic community in COVID-19. And when we say community, what we actually mean is community of believers in COVID-19. But we will be looking at this topic in two different categories, right? We'll be looking at it as the community of members who have covenanted as a church together. We covenanted to care for one another, to pray, and to reach out to one another, knowing how we are doing, not only physically, but at the same time, how we are doing spiritually, as we continue to look forward to the day Jesus would come. And second category that we'll be looking at is our community as it relates to where we're living. Our community as it relates to the fellow workers in the office, the attendants that we meet in the grocery store, the security guides that we see as we walk into our building, and the cleaners and people who come around to help us at home. We want to look at these two categories as we look at this topic of community. We know that as community of believers who have covenanted together, when we gather, there are things that should not miss from our gathering. There are topics that we do not fail to talk about. And one of it is about Jesus and what he has done for us. So we gather together to encourage each other through the lens of what Jesus has done, through his sacrifice on the cross, through him giving up himself so that we may have life, through him giving up himself so that in times like this, we can find hope in him. When we gather as believers, we talk about what Jesus has done for us. Also, when we gather as believers, we talk about our lives. We want to share about our struggles. We want to know what is happening with us, how we are faithfully or unfaithfully following God's command. And the aim of it is to bring one another together, stirring each other up towards love. Is that happening in your life now? If it is not, let me encourage you to start seeking for a community of believers to be part of. And as Redeemer members, we know that we have been provided with a lot of resources, and God in his kindness has given us a common grace that we are able to meet via Zoom. We have what we call the Zoom group that I will encourage you to be part of if you have not been part of that. There we are able to share one another, the life of one another. We're able to see ourselves through the lens of the gospel and how it shapes our life during this season. Particularly for myself, I've been encouraged so much through the Psalms this season, and seeing the life of David and seeing how God was with him. At the same time, I want to encourage you to be part of a group. We have several Zoom groups that is scattered around the city, led by faithful men. Seek to be part of one. How do you join this? If you can check our website at redeemerdubai.com, you can see the link to be part of that. Or you could personally reach out to members of the church that you know, and reach out to them and ask how you can be part of this Zoom group. When we gather together as members, we are praying for one another. We would not stop praying, and because God has commanded us to bring our supplications to him, and one of it is this season of uncertainty, we want God to come to our rescue. We want him to come and help us. We want him to help us as we fight fear, as we fight anxiety, as we fight worries. Not only now, even after now, there is a fear of what would life be. And when we gather, we know that we are seeking the good of others. We want to be honest with our confessions. We want to be honest with our struggles, so that we can care for one another genuinely, not out of selfish interest, as we see in Philippians, that the Paul encouraging the church not to serve out of selfish interest. Also, we know the second categories of the community that we have talked about as it relates to the members of our immediate environment. How are we caring for them? Of course, we know that we are not able to meet the needs of everyone. That is the truth. But there is a certain thing that we can do. And it is that through the lens of our community as believers, we are reminded of the commission that we should go out and preach the gospel. We may be asking the question of how can you do that now? We know that people are asking the question of what is happening now. This is a gospel opportunity for us. We can start telling them that Jesus died, Jesus rose again, and Jesus would come again. And when he comes, we would not experience this again. And that is what we as believers look forward to, even as we navigate through this season. Let us see this as a gospel opportunity to reach out to the people around us, even as we care for them. Let us see this as an opportunity to provide food, relief materials to them if we have. There are people who are directly impacted and are experiencing this in a very severe way. Let us seek for ways that we can build a community of love amongst them.